Bonjour, aujourd'hui c'est 831. Blog day 831. 10 things that might shock you about Paris. Number one, it's filthy. It's a dirty city. It's not perfectly clean. A lot of people think that it's like Disneyland walking around, and while there is a Disneyland very close by, this is not it. Perfect example. Anywhere you go, you see spills like this. I used to think, oh man, it looks like somebody spilled his Coke. That's too bad. No, it's most likely dog pee. There's a likelihood that it's man pee as well, but it's probably dog pee. Or some guy. But the one upside, however, is that dog poop is not nearly as big of a problem in the city as it used to be. But that should tell you something, that dog poop used to be a problem in the city and you had to watch out for it. Yeah, sidewalks, not clean. To go hand in hand with Paris being dirty, it stinks. One of the things that people don't understand or don't expect about the city is that it does smell really bad. Not everywhere, just in some places. As you may have noticed with the dirty factor, do make sure to leave your shoes at the door in your hotel or wherever you're at. It also often smells really bad, sometimes like urine, which my roommate when I lived in Nice used to call the sweet, sweet smell of freedom. You're not going to enjoy it that much. I don't know what was wrong with him. Bonus on that one, of course, is cigarette smoke. If you're not a smoker or you're not used to being around a lot of smoke, people smoke a lot here. You'll smell cigarette smoke all the time. And all of these things, like the dirt, the smell, we'll get to it eventually. There's actually a hotline for people who don't expect a lot of this stuff and are shocked so badly, they literally get medevaced out of here. We'll get to that. Parisians aren't rude. He's not French. Parisians they have a really bad reputation, and some people are often shocked by the way that they present themselves. Ultimately, French culture is about respect, not pleasantries and friendliness. If you're from the United States, you're used to walking into any establishment, having people be friendly, looking to do anything they can to help you. But here, people are much more concerned with showing and receiving respect. So you want to walk in, say bonjour, hello. You recognize that you are a guest in someone else's establishment, and as long as you're polite, try to speak a little bit of French, they're gonna be fantastic. Speaking of French, if you want people to speak English with you, try to speak French with them. Just go for it. Be friendly, polite. It really, really helps a lot for them to see you're making the effort. And they're not gonna have the patience to teach you French, so they're probably, if they speak English, gonna switch to English as quickly as possible. That is one of those things that sounds very counterintuitive, but make sure to speak English. Do try to speak French. It works. It really does work. And maybe they will practice their French with you. Odds are they probably won't, but you figure it out as you go. Half the people in Paris aren't even Parisian anyways. I mean, tons of internationals, lots of other French people, and other French people are very different than Parisians. So, you might meet some friendly Australians like Richard as you go. Like I said, it's more of a cultural difference, a little bit of an expectation, but the French in general, and a lot of Parisians, quite lovely people. You can see a little bit of haze, but today's actually not so bad. Air quality in Paris stinks. Not always. Some days are better. Obviously, if it rains, it's going to be a lot better. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the pollution in the city is actually pretty bad. They're working on it. It's getting better, theoretically at least. They do a lot of interesting things like trying to keep cars off the road, having entire neighborhoods shut down for periods of time for pedestrians only. Even the Champs-Élysées gets shut down in its entirety from like one day out of the month. So they're making strides. They're trying to encourage biking, that kind of stuff. But if you're an asthmatic or you just need mountain fresh air, be aware that air here, not the best. And if you live here, that's why it's good to get out of town every once in a while, just to make sure your lungs are okay more than anything. We already talked about the smoking, right? So have we talked about the smoking? Smoking's a problem here too. Paris is a living, working city. People actually live here and work. So it's really noisy in parts, and actually you'll find construction all over the place. Probably not usually immediately where you're trying to go. Yeah, it'll be everywhere. You'll find it, you'll hit it. It's a big city. This isn't so bad, I mean, for the most part. I think most people are used to construction, but if there's scaffolding on one of the really pretty buildings you're hoping to see, that can be a big disappointment. So be aware, walking into it. This place, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's busy. Cultural bonus point. This is true in any city that's got a subway as well. In the line of thinking that people actually live and work here, the metro system is used by commuters. So do use it while you're here. It's amazing. Just, if you got to stop and check your map or something like that, step to the side. Let people through, because otherwise, things get kind of blocked up. Wine. Wine in this country is literally cheaper than water. Not all the time. Like this bottle costs like, you know, €9, but you can find bottles of wine for €1. There's bottled water that's way more expensive than that. I've actually found bottled water, this is kind of absurd, but there's bottled water in this city that costs like €100. It's outrageous. But anyways, on the average, wine is really, really, really cheap. Shockingly cheap. Get it? Shocking. It would be shocking to you. Okay, moving on. As a bonus, some of the metro lines are really old, rickety, and make a lot of noise. And also have buttons or levers you have to push to open the doors. So it's not all perfect. Just throwing that out there. Like some of them are really nice, some of them not so much. The coffee is terrible. By and large, I don't know, people come here expecting the French to have good coffee. They do not. Thankfully, there are a lot of very good coffee places just left fringe. And actually, in the guide I wrote, which you can check below, I put tons of great coffee shops. There are a lot of great coffee shops popping up in Paris. But the average French cafe, I mean, I'm not gonna name names because I don't wanna get myself in trouble, but especially if you're Australian, you're gonna have a really hard time with the coffee here. So make sure you do your research to find some good places before you get here. Just throwing that out there. We are currently at the mayor's office of the 3rd arrondissement. If you're not familiar, Paris has 20 neighborhoods, 20 districts, and each one has their own mayor. This is the mayor's office for the 3rd. One of the things that might shock you if you're more familiar with Paris is they're actually going to be combining the first 4 arrondissements in 2020, which none of us are really sure how that's going to go. They even have a poll running for the residents of those 4 arrondissements on what the new name should be. The center of Paris, the heart of Paris, Paris 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the lamest name of all of them. So yeah, that's happening in 2020. One big chunky former 4 arrondissements. We'll see how that turns out.
This will shock you.
And we came here to run an errand, but they're closed for lunch.
They're not closed for lunch. They just don't come back after lunch.
Oh, they just don't come back after lunch at this one? Oh, good. So they're only open from 8 till 12. Finding places that are open can actually be a real challenge. Mondays, a lot of things are closed. Some things on Tuesdays as well, especially museums. Sundays, almost everything is going to be closed. And August, if you come in August, I have a whole video about that. Should you come in August? Depends on what your priorities are, but if it's to see and do everything, no, don't come in August. And I wasn't kidding. Have you ever heard of Paris syndrome? This is a real thing. The Japanese embassy actually has a hotline for this, but it's basically a psychological break that happens when people get here and they realize, wow, Paris is big, kind of smelly, dirty, it's not Disneyland. This is a real city, and they snap and have to be actually medevaced out of the country. Like, this is a real thing. I will link to it below. But the reality is that, yeah, Paris is a real city. And I don't know if you've gathered this or not, but I love this city. Like, I'm really happy to be here. And I know that today might sound like a negative twist to my love of the city, but in reality, it's my hope to help set expectations. If you're gonna come to any big city, but especially Paris, you should know that it's a real place with real problems and some weird things going on, but also amazing, beautiful architecture, lovely vistas. Beautiful architecture, lovely people, wonderful food, and even though the average coffee in a cafe might stink, and sometimes people get very impatient while waiting for a stoplight, it still has a lot of wonderful things to offer, pretty much all the best things you could want. If you'd like to hit up some of those wonderful things, whether it's photo locations, food recommendations, good coffee, good beer, good wine, good whatever, you should check out my other vlogs. I've made tons of them. There's a French Friday playlist you can get into to learn more about visiting Paris and the wonders of France. Or I also wrote a guide to Paris, which you can download in PDF form, link below. And I'll be launching a Spanish version here soon too, which I will also link below. I want to hear your feedback on the translation. I didn't do the translation. Martin did a great job, but I want to get feedback, and I feel like if I can give the first 20 people who download it a half off deal in exchange for hopefully some feedback, that would be wonderful as well. I'm gonna move on to the whole vlogging thing. I do vlog every day if this is the first time you've ever seen one of my videos, and I will just kind of fill you in on the other things I did today, but otherwise probably gonna wrap it up fairly soon. And I also have a cheese event to go to tonight because, hey, cheese, it's everywhere here. Good morning, it's Friday, and that was French Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. I figured I'd throw in a little bit of vloggy stuff at the end, but I'll keep it short. I don't know, I just thought I'd try a different format for the day and have some fun with it. I'm gonna go meet with Richard. The bed situation is amazing. I haven't slept upstairs yet because I don't have a mattress up there yet. But like I said, I'm expecting to get one here soon, and I'll tell you more about that probably when I get back from my travels, because I'm gonna start traveling. By the time you see this, I'm actually not in France anymore. So that's great. Honestly, this is making me like super happy. I walk in here and pretty much every time I go, oh man, this is so awesome. So that's good. I didn't sleep quite enough either, so hopefully the lack of life in my face isn't too obvious. Saw Gustav and had some good time with Richard, who's my happy non-French man. How's it going, Gustav? Oh, so sleepy. Finally went to Paris, New York for a burger, which is really good. I really enjoyed it. And in between those two transitions, I actually already finished it. It was a tasty meal. Do you like yours?
Yes.
Had a great meeting with Richard. Obviously lunch was delicious, but we did some more business development stuff, working our way towards building some business models, plans, schemes moving forward. Obviously Gustav's amazing and cute as usual, and man is he hyper today. Played tug of war with him for like 15 minutes. Maybe not 15 minutes, but it was a while. Literally every time I walk in here now, I'm like, this is amazing. I have a house. It's so, seriously, I've got like a living room now, like this space that I can just chill on. And then when I'm tired, I can go upstairs and go to bed. It like separates your life out. Like I can work over here, I can relax over here, I can sleep up there. That's new. It used to be like I can sleep in the corner and work over here. I'm never comfortable and it's a room, but now it's like, woo, this is a home. That's a big difference. It's a huge difference. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, yesterday was just check out yesterday's video. It was amazing. This is where, can't wait to finish this place off. All right, I'm gonna work for a little bit. Probably put as much of this together as possible so that I can actually, I also have to pack for my trip. I'm going to 2 different countries and I haven't even thought about packing yet, but I also have this cheese event tonight. Oh My Milk is what it's called. Well, you'll see here in a second. I have no idea what to expect from that. All right, so this was an event, it was kind of a networking event for the national representatives of basically the entire cheese market, which is insane, and it was actually really good. Everything we ate tonight was way more delicious than it had any right to be. I think I gained about 7 pounds, and I probably won't poop for a week, but it was super worth it. Lots of wine, everything was so good. The desserts, seriously, if you want to have a good dessert, just go to a milk vendor's party. Oh my God, it was really, really good. So anyways, I think I enjoyed 95% of everything I ate. The other percentages we won't talk about, and yeah, it was lovely. Thank you for inviting me. Had a really good time. Our host just walked away. So anyways, if this is the first time you've ever seen me, please do subscribe. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for, oh God, a really long travel day. Bye.